"Can I stay tonight?" the Apache girl asked. She found the cowboy that her people told her to. She tightened the small bag slung over her shoulder, feeling the weight of the few belongings she had packed. Her heart thumped with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, she would begin a journey she had dreamed about for as long as she could remember. Her elders had told her stories of a kind cowboy who had once helped her people. They spoke of him as if he were a living legend, a man who treated everyone fairly and with respect, a rare soul in a world that could often be harsh. Naeli had always been curious about the stories, and now she had decided to see for herself. Her village was still asleep, the low hum of distant voices and the occasional crow breaking the silence. She looked around her small home, taking in the simple comforts she would leave behind. Her blanket, the wooden bowl where she had eaten breakfast, the small clay figurines she had made with her mother. Each item carried memories, but Naeli knew that her path lay beyond the familiar hills and rivers of her home. With a deep breath, she whispered a quiet goodbye, promising herself that she would be careful but brave. The first steps out of the village felt heavy. The dirt path was uneven, and she stumbled slightly, but she quickly found her balance. The morning sun began to rise, casting golden light over the trees and turning the mist in the valley into soft, shimmering waves. Naeli felt a thrill at the beauty of the world beyond her home. She walked with determination, imagining the stories she had heard about the cowboy coming to life before her eyes. She wondered if he would be exactly as her elders described, kind, strong, and wise. As she traveled, Naeli passed by other travelers, some heading to the town near the edge of the forest, others carrying goods or animals. She greeted them politely, and some returned her greetings with curiosity. She learned quickly that a smile and a respectful nod could open doors, even in a world where strangers were often cautious of one another. She shared a few words here and there, asking for directions or advice, but she did not linger too long. She had a purpose, and she wanted to reach the cowboy as soon as she could. The journey was not easy. The path wound through thick forests, across shallow streams, and over steep hills. Naeli's legs ached by midday, and her bag felt heavier with each step. Yet she did not complain. She reminded herself of the stories of her people, the tales of bravery and resilience passed down through generations. If they could face hardships, so could she. She took breaks under the shade of large oak trees, listening to the birds singing high above and feeling the gentle breeze on her face. These moments of quiet gave her strength and courage to continue. One afternoon, Naeli stopped by a small creek to drink water and rest her feet. The water was cold and clear, reflecting the sky above. As she crouched down, she noticed a family of ducks swimming near the edge. She watched them with fascination, realizing how life continued around her, even in the middle of her challenging journey. She thought about the cowboy and wondered what his life was like. Did he wake up early like she did, facing the same sun and the same earth, yet in a very different place? Did he also pause sometimes, watching the small details of life around him? After resting for a while, Naeli continued on her journey. She passed through fields where wildflowers grew in bright clusters, and the scent of blooming plants filled the air. She walked slowly through the tall grass, careful not to step on hidden creatures or lose her balance. The days were long, and at times she felt lonely, but she carried with her the stories of her people, telling herself over and over that she was walking toward something important. Each step felt like a small victory, a proof that she could be brave and determined. One evening, as the sun began to set and the sky turned shades of pink and orange, Naeli found a safe place to rest for the night. She gathered some dry wood and started a small fire, careful not to let the flames get too large. She cooked a simple meal from the food she had packed, savoring each bite and thinking about the journey ahead. The forest around her was alive with sounds, the chirping of crickets, the rustling of leaves, and the distant howl of a coyote. Naeli felt a mixture of fear and wonder. She knew she was far from her village, and yet she felt a strange sense of freedom and independence. As she lay near the fire, Naeli thought about the cowboy again. She imagined what it would be like to meet him, to speak to him, and see if he truly was the man her elders had described. Her mind wandered through the stories she had heard, and she realized that her journey was about more than just finding him. It was about discovering her own strength, learning patience, and understanding the world beyond the familiar faces of her village. She closed her eyes and listened to the night, feeling both small in the vast world and proud of the courage she had shown so far. The next morning, Nayeli woke with renewed energy. She packed her things carefully, leaving the small campsite as clean as she could. She knew the path ahead would be long, but she felt ready for whatever challenges awaited her. She walked through the morning mist, her eyes scanning the horizon for signs of the town where the cowboy might live. Each step brought her closer to her goal, and she reminded herself to be respectful, observant, and patient. The stories of her people had taught her that good things often required time and effort. Along the way, Nayeli met a kind traveler who offered her some bread and water. They shared a few words, and the traveler smiled at her determination. "You are brave," he said, "to travel alone like this. Keep your heart strong and you will find what you seek." Nayeli thanked him and felt her confidence grow. She realized that the kindness of strangers could be a guiding light just as much as the stories of her elders. These small encounters reminded her that the world was full of people who cared, and that courage was not just about strength, it was about trust and respect. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Nayeli continued her journey through hills and valleys, her eyes often searching for the first signs of the town. She felt tired at times, but each challenge reminded her of why she had started this journey. She thought about the cowboy and the lessons she might learn from him, about how she could use these lessons to help her village and her people. The thought gave her strength, and she walked with a steady pace, her heart filled with hope and determination. By the end of the day, Nayeli could see the faint outline of buildings in the distance. Her excitement grew, but she reminded herself to remain calm and respectful. She approached the town slowly, observing the people and the way life moved here. Children ran along the streets, shopkeepers called out greetings, and animals roamed freely. Nayeli felt both nervous and curious. Soon, she would meet the man her people had spoken of for so long. She hoped he would be as kind and wise as the stories had promised. As night fell, Nayeli found a safe place to rest near the edge of the town. She looked at the lights in the distance and felt a sense of anticipation. Tomorrow, she would finally take the first steps toward meeting the cowboy. She thought about the journey she had completed so far, the forests, the hills, the rivers, and the people she had met along the way. Each experience had taught her patience, courage, and hope. She knew that the journey was only part of the story, and that the real adventure was about to begin. Nayeli lay under the stars that night, feeling the cool breeze on her face. She whispered a quiet promise to herself. No matter what happened tomorrow, she would remain brave, respectful, and kind. The journey had changed her already, and she felt ready to face whatever awaited her in the town. With her heart full of hope, she closed her eyes, letting sleep carry her gently into the night, dreaming of the cowboy she was about to meet and the new chapter of her life that was about to begin. Nayeli woke before dawn, the sky still painted in soft shades of purple and blue. She felt a flutter of nervous excitement in her chest. Today, she would finally reach the town where the cowboy lived. She had traveled for days through forests, hills, and streams, and now she could see the rooftops and smoke of chimneys in the distance. Her heart beat faster with each step as she tightened the strap of her small bag and began the final stretch of her journey. The town was quiet in the early morning, with only a few people walking along the streets. Nayeli paused at the edge, observing the scene before her. Children ran along the paths, laughing and chasing one another, while merchants opened their shops, setting out fresh bread, fruits, and fabrics. Horses were tied near the stables, whinnying softly as the sun began to rise. Everything felt new and unfamiliar, yet alive and welcoming. Nayeli's stomach twisted with both excitement and fear. She had never been in a town this big, and she did not know how the people would receive her. She walked slowly, taking careful steps on the cobbled streets, her eyes searching for any sign of the cowboy. She had heard descriptions from her elders. He was tall, strong, and always kind to animals and people alike. She hoped she would recognize him when she saw him. Nayeli passed by a small bakery, where the smell of fresh bread made her pause and smile. A woman inside offered her a warm loaf, and Nayeli thanked her politely. This small act of kindness reminded her that not all strangers were strangers in the harsh sense. Some could be friends, even if she had just met them. As she continued, Nayeli noticed a man tending to a horse outside a stable. His movements were careful, precise, and full of respect for the animal. He brushed the horse's coat gently and whispered to it in a calm voice. Nayeli stopped in her tracks. Could this be the cowboy? She studied him carefully, noticing the strength in his hands, the gentleness in his manner, and the way he seemed to care deeply for the creature before him. Her heart beat quickly. She had traveled so far, and now she had to find the courage to approach him. For a long moment, Nayeli hesitated, unsure what to say. Then she remembered the advice of her elders: "Speak with respect, and your honesty will be seen." She took a deep breath, smoothed her hair, and walked toward him. The horse stirred at her approach, and the man looked up. His eyes were kind but alert, curious about the young girl standing before him. Nayeli's voice was soft but steady as she asked, "Can I stay tonight?" The cowboy blinked, surprised by her question. He had not expected a visitor, especially one so young, but he saw the truth and respect in her eyes. He looked at her for a moment, studying her, and then nodded. "Yes," he said gently. "You may stay, but you must follow the rules of my home. Respect the animals, help where you can, and always speak honestly." Nayeli felt a wave of relief wash over her. She smiled and bowed slightly, thanking him. She had expected kindness, but the warmth she felt from his response made her heart soar. The cabin was small but tidy, with a wooden table, a few chairs, and a fireplace that had been recently cleaned. The cowboy showed her where she could place her bag and offered her a simple meal of bread, cheese, and fresh water. Nayeli sat at the table, grateful and curious. She asked questions about the town and the cowboy's life, and he answered patiently, explaining how he helped people, took care of animals, and lived simply but honestly. Nayeli listened intently, fascinated by the balance of strength and kindness in his daily life. Over the next few days, Nayeli settled into a simple routine. She helped the cowboy feed the horses, clean the stable, and prepare meals. She was careful and eager to learn, asking questions whenever she did not understand something. The cowboy noticed her curiosity and patience, and he took the time to teach her small but important skills. He showed her how to tie ropes, mend fences, and handle animals safely. Nayeli discovered that work could be hard, but when done with care and respect, it became meaningful and even enjoyable. In the evenings, they would sit by the fireplace, and the cowboy would tell stories of his own youth, of times when he had faced challenges and learned lessons the hard way. Nayeli shared stories of her village, of her people, and of the elders who had guided her. Through these exchanges, a quiet bond grew between them, built on trust and mutual respect. Nayeli realized that the cowboy's life was different from hers, yet the values of honesty, courage, and kindness were shared by both. One afternoon, Nayeli helped the cowboy repair a broken fence near the edge of the property. She struggled at first, unsure how to handle the tools and the stubborn posts. The cowboy guided her gently, showing her the right way to hold the hammer and the best angle to drive the nails. She worked carefully, focusing on each movement, and when the fence was finally repaired, she felt a sense of pride she had never experienced before. The cowboy smiled at her, saying, "You have learned quickly. You have patience and determination. Those are rare qualities." Nayeli felt her chest swell with happiness, proud that her efforts had been recognized. During this time, Nayeli also observed the cowboy's interactions with the townspeople. He helped a neighbor repair a cart, guided children who had lost their way, and treated every animal with respect. Nayeli realized that true strength was not just about physical power, but about kindness, patience, and a willingness to help others. She thought about her own village and how she could share these lessons with her people when she returned. The more she observed, the more she understood the depth of the cowboy's character, and the more she admired him. One evening, while sitting outside and watching the sunset, Nayeli felt a moment of quiet reflection. She thought about her journey, the forest she had crossed, the streams and hills, and the many small acts of kindness she had witnessed along the way. She realized that her adventure was not just about finding the cowboy, but about discovering the world beyond her village and learning from the people and experiences she encountered. The cowboy sat beside her, offering a piece of bread, and she shared her thoughts quietly. He listened attentively, nodding with understanding. Days passed, and Nayeli grew more confident in her new surroundings. She learned how to manage small responsibilities on her own, how to anticipate the needs of the animals, and how to interact with the townspeople politely and respectfully. The cowboy watched her progress with quiet pride. He knew she had a natural curiosity and determination that would serve her well in life. Nayeli, in turn, felt a sense of belonging and purpose she had never known before. The cabin no longer felt like a strange place. It had become a space of learning, growth, and connection. One afternoon, a small challenge arrived unexpectedly. A horse had gotten loose near the edge of the town, and Nayeli was the first to notice. She ran quickly, calling to the animal and carefully guiding it back toward the stable. The cowboy arrived just in time to help secure the horse, but it was Nayeli's quick thinking and calm actions that prevented any harm. The townspeople watched with admiration, realizing that this young girl, far from her village, had courage and intelligence beyond her years. Nayeli felt a quiet pride, understanding that bravery was not always about fighting or strength, but about staying calm, observing carefully, and acting with thought and care. That evening, after the excitement had passed, Nayeli and the cowboy sat by the fireplace. She felt tired but happy. She realized that her journey had brought her not just to a new place, but into a space where she could grow and learn. The cowboy spoke kindly, saying, "You have a strong heart, Nayeli. Remember, strength and kindness must always walk together. You carry that with you wherever you go." Nayeli nodded, feeling the truth of his words settle deeply into her heart. By the end of the week, Nayeli had learned not only practical skills, but also important life lessons. She had discovered the value of patience, the power of kindness, and the importance of courage in facing new challenges. She realized that the cowboy was more than a person her elders had spoken about. He was a teacher, a guide, and a friend. The bond between them had grown quietly, naturally, and with mutual respect. Nayeli felt a sense of pride and gratitude for the time she had spent here and the lessons she had learned. As the sun set on another quiet evening, Nayeli looked out toward the hills beyond the town, thinking about the days ahead. She knew her journey was far from over, but she felt ready for whatever challenges might come. The cowboy had shown her a way to navigate the world with honesty, respect, and courage. She felt a deep sense of purpose, understanding that her experiences here were shaping her into a stronger, wiser person. Nayeli smiled quietly, feeling the warmth of the cabin and the kindness of the cowboy, knowing that this chapter of her life would remain with her forever. Nayeli woke early, as was her habit, feeling the soft warmth of the sun just beginning to rise over the hills. She stretched and listened to the quiet sounds of the town slowly coming to life. Today felt different from the days before. She had settled into the cowboy's home, learned many skills, and felt the quiet comfort of belonging, yet she sensed that there was more to learn. Nayeli knew that growth was not just about helping with chores, but also understanding the world around her, learning from every small experience and discovering more about herself. The morning began with the usual tasks. Nayeli helped feed the horses, each animal responding to her gentle touch and calm voice. She had learned over the past days that animals could sense fear or impatience, and that kindness and patience often earned their trust more than any force could. Nayeli brushed the horses' coats carefully, making sure each stroke was smooth and deliberate. She hummed a soft tune her mother had taught her long ago, a melody that reminded her of home. The cowboy watched quietly, impressed with how she had adapted to this new life so quickly. After the morning chores, the cowboy asked Nayeli to help with repairs around the cabin. A small fence near the vegetable garden had weakened in the past storms, and it needed fixing. Nayeli picked up the tools, careful to follow the cowboy's instructions. She measured each post, tapped each nail gently, and worked patiently. She realized that the cowboy was not only teaching her practical skills, but also the value of attention to detail and persistence. By the time the fence was repaired, Nayeli felt proud of her work and the tangible results of her effort. She saw how small actions, when done carefully and with focus, could make a big difference. Later that day, the cowboy decided to take Nayeli to the edge of the town to meet some of the local townspeople. "It is important to understand how people live and how we can help each other," he said. Nayeli nodded, feeling curious and a little nervous. As they walked together, she noticed the differences between her village and this town. The way the streets were organized, the small shops and stalls, and the friendly greetings exchanged between neighbors. Nayeli realized that every place had its own rhythm and way of life, yet the values of kindness, respect, and honesty were the same everywhere. The cowboy introduced Nayeli to a few townspeople, explaining her story and her journey. The people smiled warmly, some offering small gifts like fresh bread or fruits. Nayeli felt both shy and happy, realizing that her honesty and courage in traveling alone had earned the respect of others. She observed how the cowboy treated each person with patience, listening carefully and speaking politely. Naomi began to understand that true strength was not only about physical skill, but also about the ability to communicate, to listen, and to help others without expecting anything in return. One afternoon, as Naomi returned from gathering firewood, she noticed a small kitten trapped in a bush near the edge of the property. Its tiny cries were soft but urgent. Naomi knelt carefully, speaking gently to the frightened animal, and slowly freed it from the branches. She brought the kitten to the cowboy, who smiled and praised her careful approach. "Compassion is a lesson that cannot be taught in words alone," he said. "It must be shown through actions, just as you did." Naomi felt a warm glow of pride, realizing that even small acts of kindness could make a difference in the world. Days passed, and Naomi continued to learn and grow. She helped the cowboy prepare meals, clean the cabin, and tend to the animals, but she also learned lessons about life itself. She watched how he handled challenges with patience, how he balanced work and rest, and how he treated everyone and everything with respect. Naomi began to notice small changes in herself. She felt more confident, more patient, and more aware of the needs of others. She realized that learning was not only about skills, but also about understanding one's own heart and mind. One morning, the cowboy asked Naomi to accompany him on a short ride outside the town to check the fences near the farthest fields. Naomi mounted a horse with care, feeling the steady rhythm beneath her. As they rode together, she observed the cowboy carefully checking each fence, gently guiding the horses and noting any signs of damage. Naomi began to understand how much attention to detail was needed in life, and how responsibility required not only effort, but also care and foresight. She realized that courage was not always about facing danger, but also about facing challenges with thought, patience, and care. On the way back, they stopped by a small stream to rest. Naomi leaned against a tree, watching the water flow smoothly over the stones. She felt a deep sense of peace and reflection. The cowboy handed her a small piece of bread, and they shared a quiet moment together. Naomi spoke softly about her village and the elders who had sent her on this journey. The cowboy listened attentively, offering gentle advice and encouragement. He told her, "Every journey teaches us something. Sometimes the lessons are about strength, sometimes about patience, and sometimes about understanding the heart of the world around us. You have already learned much, Naomi, and there is still more ahead." That evening, a small challenge arrived unexpectedly. A young calf had wandered into a neighboring field and was stuck near a low fence. Naomi noticed the situation and ran to help, calling the cowboy for guidance. Together, they carefully led the calf back to safety. Naomi realized that facing challenges did not always require fearlessness or speed, but rather observation, thought, and teamwork. She felt proud that she had contributed and had acted wisely under pressure. The cowboy smiled at her, saying, "You are learning not just to work with your hands, but also to think with your heart. That is rare and important." Over the following days, Naomi began to take on more responsibilities around the cabin and the town. She helped the cowboy teach a few small skills to children, showing them how to care for animals and understand nature. She felt a growing confidence, realizing that teaching others helped her understand herself better. Naomi also observed the townspeople and how they helped one another. She began to see how kindness and responsibility spread, how one small act could create a ripple of care and respect in the community. One quiet afternoon, Naomi sat by the cabin, mending a small tear in the cowboy's coat. She reflected on everything she had learned, the value of patience, the importance of honesty, the need to treat others with respect, and the power of small acts of kindness. She realized that her journey had transformed her in ways she had not anticipated. She was not only learning skills for life, but also understanding the qualities that made someone truly strong and wise. Naomi felt grateful for the opportunity to learn from the cowboy and for the trust he had shown in her. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the town, Naomi and the cowboy sat outside, enjoying the quiet moment. She shared her thoughts, saying, "I feel like I am learning more than I ever imagined. I want to take these lessons back to my village and share them with my people." The cowboy nodded, pleased by her words. "That is the true measure of learning," he said. "It is not only what you gain for yourself, but what you can give to others. You have a strong heart, Naomi, and it will guide you well." The week continued with small but meaningful tasks, each one teaching Nayeli something new. She learned to read the signs of nature, the wind, the clouds, the animals, and to anticipate what might be needed before problems arose. She learned to listen carefully, to observe patiently, and to act wisely. Each day, her respect for the cowboy grew, not only for his strength but for his patience, kindness, and wisdom. She realized that true guidance came from living with integrity and compassion, not from words alone. By the end of the third week, Nayeli had become more than a visitor in the cowboy's home. She had become a part of the small household, a helper, a learner, and a young friend. She felt confident in her abilities, proud of the progress she had made, and grateful for the trust and guidance she had received. Nayeli understood that her journey was not only about finding the cowboy, but also about discovering her own potential, learning the values of courage, kindness, and patience, and preparing herself for the challenges that lay ahead. As night fell, Nayeli lay under the stars, thinking about the days she had spent with the cowboy. She felt a quiet happiness and a sense of purpose. She knew that more challenges would come, but she also knew that she had learned the skills and lessons to face them. Nayeli smiled softly, feeling the warmth of the cabin behind her and the trust of the cowboy beside her. She realized that her journey was still unfolding, and that the lessons she had learned so far were only the beginning of the adventure she had set out to live. Nayeli woke to the soft light of early morning filtering through the small cabin window. The air was cool and fresh, carrying the scent of pine and earth from the surrounding hills. Today felt different, although she could not yet understand why. She felt a quiet tension in the air, as if something important was about to happen. Nayeli stretched and prepared herself for the day, helping the cowboy feed the horses and check the fences near the edge of their property. She had grown confident in her daily tasks, but a part of her heart sensed that a test of her courage and learning might come soon. As they worked, Nayeli noticed the calm rhythm of the cowboy's movements, the way he carefully handled the animals and tools, always with patience and attention. She remembered all the lessons he had taught her: how to stay calm under pressure, how to think carefully before acting, and how to treat every living thing with respect. Nayeli realized that these lessons were not just for daily chores. They were preparing her for life beyond the cabin, for moments when she might need strength, patience, and courage all at once. By mid-morning, the town began to stir more actively. Merchants opened their stalls, children ran through the streets, and the sounds of life filled the air. Nayeli and the cowboy walked toward the town center to help a neighbor repair a broken cart. On the way, Nayeli noticed some townspeople looking worried. A small group of strangers had arrived at the edge of the town. Their faces were serious, and they moved quickly through the streets, causing unease among the residents. Nayeli felt a flutter of fear in her chest, but reminded herself to stay calm and think clearly. The cowboy noticed her tension and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "Stay close to me, Nayeli," he said softly. "Watch carefully and remember what you have learned. Courage is not just about facing danger. It is about acting wisely, helping others, and staying calm." Nayeli nodded, her heart beating faster, but she felt reassured by his presence. She realized that fear was natural, but it did not have to control her actions. She took a deep breath and focused on the task at hand. The strangers began to speak loudly with the townspeople, demanding access to supplies and claiming rights that did not belong to them. Some residents tried to respond, but their voices trembled with fear. Nayeli watched carefully, learning how the cowboy handled the situation. He spoke firmly but politely, setting boundaries and explaining the rules clearly. Nayeli noticed the respect in his voice and the calm determination in his actions. She realized that courage and kindness could coexist, and that standing firm did not mean being harsh or unkind. As the situation grew tense, the strangers moved closer to the town's animals, including the horses Nayeli had helped care for. Without thinking, Nayeli ran toward a horse that had become startled and was trying to run away. She spoke softly to the animal, using the gentle tone she had learned from the cowboy, and slowly guided it back to the stable. Her heart raced, but she stayed focused, remembering every lesson she had been taught. The cowboy arrived beside her, helping secure the animal and ensuring it was safe. Nayeli felt a sense of pride, realizing that her quick thinking had prevented the horse from being harmed. The cowboy then addressed the strangers firmly, explaining that the town had rules and that everyone must respect them. Naomi watched as he stood calmly, confident but non-threatening, showing that strength could be gentle when combined with wisdom. The strangers, seeing the resolve in his voice and the support of the townspeople, finally began to step back, understanding that they could not force their way. Naomi realized that courage was not about fighting with fists, but about using intelligence, patience, and careful action to resolve a problem. After the strangers left, the town slowly returned to its usual rhythm. Naomi felt a mixture of relief and excitement. She had witnessed a real challenge and had taken part in keeping the animals and people safe. She felt proud of herself for staying calm and acting wisely, and she noticed that the townspeople now looked at her with admiration. Even the cowboy smiled at her, his eyes showing quiet pride. "You handled yourself well," he said. "Remember this feeling. Courage grows when you act wisely and with care." Naomi nodded, her heart swelling with confidence and gratitude. The rest of the day passed with smaller tasks, but the lessons from the morning lingered in Naomi's mind. She helped the cowboy repair fences, feed animals, and organize supplies. She observed the townspeople, noticing how they supported one another, sharing food, helping with chores, and offering guidance to those in need. Naomi realized that community and kindness were just as important as courage and strength. She began to understand that true leadership involved listening, caring, and acting with fairness, rather than simply being the strongest person in the room. As evening approached, Naomi sat quietly outside the cabin, reflecting on the day's events. The sun was setting behind the hills, casting golden light over the town and the surrounding fields. Naomi thought about the strangers, the fear she had felt, and the courage she had discovered within herself. She realized that her journey was about more than finding the cowboy. It was about discovering her own strength, learning to stay calm under pressure, and understanding how kindness and courage could work together. The cowboy joined her outside, handing her a small piece of bread. He sat quietly beside her, letting her speak first. Naomi shared her thoughts, explaining how she had felt afraid, but had managed to act calmly and helpfully. The cowboy listened attentively, nodding in understanding. "What you did today shows that you are learning more than just skills," he said. "You are learning how to be brave, how to think clearly, and how to act with care. These lessons will stay with you for the rest of your life." Naomi felt a warm glow of pride, realizing that she had grown in ways she had never imagined. That night, as Naomi prepared to sleep, she thought about her village and the elders who had sent her on this journey. She understood now that the lessons she had learned were not just for herself, but also for the people she would return to. She imagined sharing her experiences, teaching them the value of patience, courage, and kindness, and showing how even small actions could make a difference in the world. Naomi felt a deep sense of purpose, knowing that her journey was shaping her into someone who could help others, just as the cowboy had helped her. Over the following days, Naomi continued to learn and practice the lessons she had discovered during the challenge. She helped the cowboy with daily tasks, guided animals, and observed the town's rhythms. She began to notice small details she had not seen before: the way people supported each other, the careful attention given to every task, and the importance of honesty in all interactions. Naomi realized that life was full of small but meaningful moments, and that each one could teach her something valuable. One afternoon, Naomi helped the cowboy repair a gate that had been damaged during the stranger's visit. As she worked, she reflected on how much she had grown. She remembered the fear she had felt at first, and now she approached each task with calm determination and confidence. The cowboy watched her silently, a quiet pride in his eyes. He knew that Naomi had learned more than skills. She had discovered the power of patience, the value of courage, and the importance of acting with kindness even in difficult situations. By the end of the week, Naomi felt a strong sense of accomplishment. She had faced a real challenge, helped protect the town and its animals, and grown in confidence and wisdom. She realized that courage was not about being fearless, but about staying calm, thinking clearly, and acting with care and respect. Naomi also understood that kindness and strength could work together, creating a quiet power that inspired trust and respect in others. As night fell, Naomi sat outside, looking up at the stars that twinkled above the hills. She felt a sense of peace and pride, knowing that she had learned lessons she would carry for the rest of her life. She thought about the cowboy, who had guided her patiently and taught her not only skills but also values. Naeli knew that this chapter of her journey had changed her forever, and that the lessons she had learned would help her face future challenges with courage, wisdom, and kindness. Before falling asleep, Naeli whispered a quiet promise to herself, to continue learning, to stay brave, and to act with care and honesty in everything she did. She felt the warmth of the cabin behind her, the trust of the cowboy beside her, and the knowledge that she was ready to face whatever came next. The journey was far from over, but Naeli knew that she had already discovered the strength within herself, the courage to act wisely, and the power of kindness to guide her through life. The morning sunlight spilled gently over the hills, casting warm golden light across the town. Naeli woke slowly, feeling a mix of excitement and sadness. Today, she would begin her journey back to her village. She had spent weeks with the cowboy, learning, helping, and growing in ways she had never imagined. Her heart was full of gratitude for the lessons she had learned, the kindness she had received, and the courage she had discovered within herself. At the same time, she knew she would miss the quiet mornings, the soft rhythm of chores, and the companionship of the cowboy who had become a mentor and friend. She rose quietly, careful not to disturb the cabin. Naeli helped feed the horses one last time, her hands gentle and confident. She brushed their coats with care, speaking softly to each animal, thanking them for their patience and for allowing her to learn from them. The cowboy watched her with quiet pride, noting how much she had grown. He approached and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You are ready, Naeli," he said. "You have learned patience, courage, and kindness. These lessons will guide you wherever you go." Naeli smiled, feeling the weight of his words settle in her heart. After a simple breakfast, Naeli packed her small bag, making sure nothing was forgotten. The cowboy had given her a few supplies, a piece of bread, a small knife for practical use, and a few items to help her on the journey. More importantly, he had given her advice that could not be packed, the lessons of patience, honesty, and courage. Naeli hugged him gently, thanking him for everything he had taught her. He smiled and nodded, understanding that this goodbye was not an ending, but a step toward a new chapter in her life. The path back to her village stretched out before her, winding through hills, forests, and streams. Naeli walked with steady steps, her heart both heavy and light. She thought about the journey she had undertaken to find the cowboy and the many experiences that had shaped her along the way. She remembered the early mornings, the small acts of kindness, the challenges she had faced, and the lessons she had learned. Naeli realized that this journey had been about more than finding someone else. It had been about discovering her own strength, courage, and purpose. As she walked through the fields near the town, Naeli encountered people she had met before. Merchants waved, children ran to greet her, and neighbors smiled warmly. They asked about her time with the cowboy, and Naeli shared her experiences with honesty and pride. She told them about the lessons she had learned, the ways she had grown, and the courage she had discovered. The townspeople listened attentively, admiring her determination and the respect she showed for both the cowboy and the animals. Naeli felt a quiet joy, realizing that sharing her experiences was a way of honoring everything she had learned. The journey was not without challenges. The path led her through steep hills, narrow forest trails, and winding streams. Naeli used the skills the cowboy had taught her, careful observation, patience, and thoughtful action, to navigate safely. She felt proud of her progress, knowing that she could handle difficult terrain and unexpected obstacles with calm confidence. She also remembered the lessons of kindness, ensuring she treated every living thing she encountered with care, from birds perched on branches to small creatures crossing the path. Each step reinforced the lessons she had learned, making her journey both meaningful and safe. One afternoon, Naeli stopped near a clear stream to rest and drink water. The sunlight danced on the surface, creating patterns that sparkled like tiny stars. She reflected on the cowboys' teachings and the challenge they had faced together when strangers had arrived in the town. Naeli realized that courage and wisdom were closely connected. Strength alone was not enough. True courage required thought, patience, and respect for others. She felt a quiet pride, knowing that she had acted wisely and bravely when it mattered most. The stream seemed to echo her thoughts, calm and steady, reflecting her growing confidence. Along the path, Naeli encountered travelers who offered guidance or shared a small meal. She greeted each person respectfully and listened carefully to their advice. Some warned of steep hills ahead, while others spoke of villages and towns along the way. Naomi appreciated these encounters, understanding that learning could happen anywhere, from every person, every animal, and every small challenge. She realized that life was full of opportunities to grow, and that each interaction carried a lesson if she paid attention. As the days passed, Naomi drew closer to her village. The familiar hills and streams began to appear on the horizon. Her heart quickened with anticipation and joy. She thought about her family, the elders, and the other villagers who had sent her on this journey. Naomi knew that she carried with her not only the lessons of the cowboy, but also the experiences of her journey, the long walks, the small acts of kindness, the challenges she had faced, and the courage she had discovered. She felt ready to share all of this with her people. When Naomi finally reached her village, she was met with curiosity and excitement. Friends, family, and neighbors gathered to hear about her journey. Naomi spoke with honesty and pride, describing her experiences with the cowboy, the skills she had learned, and the lessons she had discovered. She told them about courage, patience, kindness, and respect, and about how small actions could make a big difference in the lives of others. The villagers listened attentively, inspired by her words and impressed by her growth. Naomi realized that her journey had not only changed her, but it had the power to inspire others as well. That evening, Naomi walked to the edge of the village and looked toward the hills in the distance. She thought about the cowboy and the lessons he had taught her. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for his patience, guidance, and kindness. Naomi whispered a quiet promise to herself. She would carry these lessons with her always, using them to help her village, support her people, and face future challenges with courage and care. She understood that the journey had given her more than skills. It had given her the strength of character to face life's uncertainties with confidence and grace. In the days that followed, Naomi shared her experiences with her family and the elders. She taught the younger children the skills she had learned, such as caring for animals, observing the world carefully, and acting with patience. She shared stories of courage and kindness, showing how even small actions could make a difference. The villagers admired her growth and dedication, realizing that her journey had brought not only knowledge, but also a sense of inspiration and hope. Naomi felt proud, knowing that she could use what she had learned to help her community thrive. Evenings in the village became moments of reflection for Naomi. She thought about the journey that had begun with a simple question: "Can I stay tonight?" That question had led her to discover a world beyond her village, a mentor who had guided her, and a deeper understanding of herself. Naomi realized that life was full of opportunities for learning, courage, and kindness, and that the choices she made each day could shape her path in meaningful ways. She felt a quiet confidence, knowing that she had grown stronger, wiser, and more compassionate through her experiences. Naomi also understood that the journey itself was just as important as reaching the destination. Each step, each challenge, and each act of kindness had taught her valuable lessons. She remembered the times she had been afraid but acted with care, the times she had helped animals and people, and the moments of quiet reflection with the cowboy. Each memory was a reminder of her growth and the strength she carried within her. Naomi felt a sense of pride and gratitude, knowing that these experiences would guide her for the rest of her life. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Naomi sat quietly outside her home, looking at the stars beginning to appear in the sky. She thought about the cowboy, the town, and the journey she had undertaken. She realized that her life had changed forever, not just because of the skills she had learned, but because of the lessons of courage, kindness, and patience that had been quietly woven into her heart. Naomi felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that she had grown into a stronger, wiser, and more confident person. Before going to sleep, Naomi whispered a quiet promise to herself: to carry these lessons forward, to help her people with patience and care, and to act with courage and kindness in every situation. She understood that life would continue to bring challenges, but she now had the tools, the wisdom, and the strength to face them. Naomi felt proud, grateful, and hopeful, knowing that her journey had shaped her into someone who could make a positive difference in the world. As the village settled into quiet night, Naomi closed her eyes, feeling the warmth of home, the guidance of the cowboy, and the strength she had discovered within herself. She dreamed not only of the adventures she had experienced, but also of the future she would create, one filled with courage, kindness, patience, and the quiet power of a heart that had learned to face the world with wisdom and care. Naomi had returned home, but she carried with her the lessons of her journey, ready to live a life that honored the trust, guidance, and friendship she had received.